In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Half a day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor Licanto, and this week we're going to talk a little bit about the insurance industry with two of the largest companies on Guam, Calvo's Insurance and Calvo SelectCare. And full disclosure, they are sister companies of KOM, but they're also the largest. So we're going to talk to them a little bit about that. But first, let me introduce President and CEO of Calvo's Insurance Underwriters, Mr. Paul Calvo. Half a day, Paul.
Hey, half a day, Nestor. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. And also we have Frankie McJohn, and we'll talk a little bit about Frankie's involvement in this because Calvo's Insurance has launched a new rebranding. So, and Frankie was involved in that. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about that a little later. But first, Paul, let me ask you, tell us about this rebranding of Calvo's Insurance and why you decided to do this.
Well, Nestor, Calvo's has been around for 83 years. In fact, we're approaching our 85th in just a year and a half from now. And so, I've been in this industry for, several decades, and I know that we wanted to re-engage, with the, Father Time keeps moving on. The new generation, and as much as we try to, stay in touch, we realize that, we're like a grandparent. We've been insuring people and their grandchildren. And so we thought it would be time to do that. And we thought, what better than to do it with music? Real quickly, I wanted to say that, how they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I thought that a music video is worth, 10,000 words. It conveys our message, which remains the same, through all the decades. It's basically, trust. You can trust us, have the confidence, and our core competencies, which is, technical insurance, but also our desire to help people.
Yeah, so the new campaign is called Count on Calvos for Life, and that's why Frankie's here, because Frankie, you're well known for the band that you're the front man for, the Dank show. Tell us about, because you're involved in the creative aspect of this new theme song for Calvo's.
Yeah, actually we got approached, and for us, what we're always worried about when we do things like this is having the creative capacity to accomplish something that people want, but also keep it where it's still us and still genuinely our music, essentially what we're writing and stuff. So when we were approached about it, we thought about, well, are we still gonna have the creative power to create something that not only will we be happy with, but will the client be happy with? And I think the direction of it right off the bat was something that we didn't need to worry about because Calvo's kind of had that dialed in and what they wanted, and the direction for the whole campaign was already dialed in. So it was really easy on our part to kind of just lock into that and then take it and run with it in terms of songwriting and composition and stuff.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the lyrics and the tone that you wanted the song to set.
Well, the good thing about these lyrics is that it was very family friendly, and I think we've never had a problem with that. I think what we were trying to go for when we were writing was, would we listen to it, and would like our parents listen to it, or our grandparents listen to it? Was it something that everybody can listen to? It's not something that we prefer, or either we just wrote it for one traffic. We kind of tried to write it for multi-generations, and that was kind of the goal from the start, was that if we're gonna write it just like that, then we want everybody to be able to listen to it and actually enjoy it, and it fit across all platforms or generations of people. So that was the biggest goal.
Yeah.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
And Paul, when's the commercial going to launch? And can we get a copy? Maybe we'll run it during the show during one of the breaks.
Yeah, actually, the commercial's been running now for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. And you'll start to hear it on the radios as well. It's a beautiful, catchy one. My wife is humming it quite a bit lately. And I look for it every chance I can get. And you can download it yourself, accessing calvos.com. So anybody who wants to hear it right away, just do that.
Yeah. And as you mentioned earlier, rebranding is important for every company, right? Just to keep up with the time. I'm wondering, has the pandemic impacted your business at all?
You know, insurance is something that is a necessity. And so, you know, the banks, there's just so many people networked into it. The banks require it for home and auto. And so it hasn't. We're one of those lucky ones. I think the feds have come in a big way to keep money in people's pockets with the PPP and all the other assistance, the PUA money that's coming through. So knock on wood, we haven't been adversely affected with it yet. I mean, perhaps on the SelectCare side, on the way of claims, of course, you know, because we covered that. But no, we haven't. We expected. We were getting prepared for the worst, and so far we haven't seen it. Though I realize that we're still in September, and some things just ended on September 6th. You know, the PUA money. So we'll see how the balance of the year comes through.
Yeah. And Calvo's Insurance is sort of the flagship of the Calvo family business. You're started by your late grandfather, Eduardo Jake Calvo. Tell us how it has changed over the course of 80 plus years, and where you guys see yourself now, and maybe a little bit into the future.
Well, it's grown over the years. I mean, over 8 decades. So when my grandfather started it was really a part-time job. He worked for the Bank of Guam, which was owned by the Navy, or run by the Navy. He was only, I think, 17 or 18 when he started there. But he did this with American International, AIG, in 1938, part-time, working out of his house. And it grew. By my time my Uncle Henry took over in 1950, it had grown to about 5 employees and $250,000. Now we have a staff of about 125. We're spread out, you know, Guam. We have our branch in Dededo. We have an office in Saipan and in Palau. And the scope of the insurance has expanded as well. Initially, I'm sure he was selling auto insurance to GIs and renters insurance and perhaps marine insurance. Guam everything continues to be all imported. But yeah, we've gone way beyond that. In 2000, SelectCare was born, and SelectCare expanded us quite a bit. We probably doubled in staff or close to it. So yeah, it's changed quite a bit, and it's but you know, the catastrophes that happen are the same: typhoons and earthquakes, car accidents. You know, on the medical insurance side, it's every day. You know, unfortunately, you know, it's people having medical incidents, and so we need to respond to that, at least to provide the financial safety net for people to recover from those financial hits.
Yeah. And over the years, Calvo's Insurance has, had a lot of firsts. You introduced a lot of new innovations. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So let me see. Maybe about 20, 25 years ago, we tried to make it more convenient for our auto and home customers. So we started the pay plan, and that allowed our customers to spread out their payments over 11 months or 24 pay periods, you know, through payroll deduction. So many times it's the payment plan that helps and waive the down payment. We also started the first roadside assistance program on Guam. That's 24/7. Our auto clients would be able to get emergency roadside assistance. You know, they run out of gas, have a flat tire, or they're locked out. And that's thousands. I see it every month. The traffic that's going through it, or the reporting. So that one was our first as well. And then, of course, we did the loyalty, the Calvo's Lifestyle Club loyalty program. That one started about 11 years ago. And we wanted to show our loyal customers, and this is for auto, home, and SelectCare members, that we really appreciate them. And so the loyalty program has about 100 business partners where you can have discounts or free perks. Payless is one of them, with the natural and organic products discount and produce discount. But there's lots of restaurants and other type shops, automotive shops, and entertainment venues. So those are we try to stay ahead of the game and introduce things to the community. And it's a compliment when we see our competitors follow suit. That's the greatest flattery, right? Is copying.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes left. I wanted to give Frankie a chance just to plug some upcoming things that the John Dank Show has planned.
Well, first off, I just wanted to tell Mr. Calvo, thank you for having us on the project. But I know we haven't spoken about it face to face. We've been working with the liaison, but yeah, we actually really enjoy doing this. It gets your creative juices flowing. In terms of having to create something on a time schedule, you can't really sit on it. So we actually enjoyed putting in the work in the studio. But for us, man, we actually are looking to tour in February of 2022 again, a national tour, and then we're also trying to get on. There's a festival going on in Long Beach that we're trying to get on. Actually, we should have an offer sheet pretty soon, but. The first thing is that we're actually going to be releasing some music, some new music in the next couple months. We're actually working on a song with Jason J, a former Guam boy, but formerly used to live on Guam. Now he lives in LA. So we have a song with him that we've been working on for the last couple months, and hopefully that's going to be out soon. But yeah, just new music right now, and some touring in the spring or winter, spring. So. That's what we got on our plate right now.
All right, best of luck. We need to take a short break, but I'd like to thank Paul Calvo Jr., the president and CEO of Calvo's Insurance, and you, Frankie McJohn, for joining us for this first segment of the show. And thank you very much, gentlemen. And we'll be right back with Frank Campillo of Calvo SelectCare. Don't go away.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
And welcome back, everyone. Paul is still with us, but we are joined by Frank Campillo, who is the administrator of Calvo SelectCare, the top health insurance company on island. Welcome, Frank.
Hey, thank you, Nestor. Good day, Nestor, and good day to your audience as well.
All right. Paul, let me just start with you. Of course, you're back after a year as the GovGuam health insurance provider. Tell us a little bit about that. How does that feel?
Well, it feels great to re-enter as a option for the GovGuam employees and retirees. It was a 2-year break, actually, and actually it was Frank. I would say, Frank, it was about 2001 when the first entry into GovGuam.
We started in GovGuam in 2001. Yes, correct. Yeah.
2001, and so other than this 2-year interruption, we've been privileged and we've been honored to be insuring the employees and retirees of Guam.
Yeah, Frank,
So
same question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Well-
Frank, same question to you. What's it feel like to be back with as a GovGuam health insurance provider?
Actually, it feels extremely good because we're back with the family. You know, the GovGuam population to us has become like family. If you recall, it was through many of the government of Guam employees and retirees that petitioned for a change in the law that was implemented in the past, and that allow for a change of law to get GovGuam to give options to the retirees and the active employees. So we're extremely happy to be able to serve the population. We are getting great enrollment as it is, and we hope that it continues through the end of the month, which is September 25th is the end of the open enrollment for this year. So
Yeah.
extremely happy to be able to serve our family, the government of Guam employees and retirees.
Sure. Paul alluded to it earlier, but the obvious question, how has the pandemic impacted, members' decisions?
Well, excellent question. And during these uncertain times of COVID, it is comforting to have access to quality of care. And that's one of the things that we basically is our premise. You have access to great value and quality of care. We have expanded significantly our network. As you know, and we were talking about that earlier, the Philippines and countries in Asia are closed because of the pandemic. Travel has become very difficult, and getting access to care in those countries have become a little challenging. So now we decided that, well, for that, we need to expand our access. We have expanded the provider network in Hawaii. We always had a very strong provider network there, but now we expanded our access in continental US. And with that, we now have a partnership with United Healthcare that has been something that the government of Guam employees and retirees have welcomed, simply because they got used to a expanded network for the previous provider. And we now have access to over 1.1 million providers across the nation, including our 6,100 hospitals. So no matter where you are in continental US, you'll be able to have access to a medical provider. Whether it's your students that are going to school, to college, they will have the access, or also if you're back because of emergencies. But that's the key feature that we have today, the access to quality and greater value from our company.
Yeah. During this open enrollment, what are you finding are the biggest concerns amongst, prospective members?
So the biggest actually concerns and challenges is that we're doing all of this, and I actually give kudos to the government of Guam Department of Administration for the work that their staff has been doing in putting all this together. It is very challenging when you don't have face-to-face presentations, and all of the presentations are being done through Zoom meetings like this. And for us, we got used to doing that. When you ask about the changes from the pandemic, the changes from the pandemic is that we had to turn on a dime and make a lot of significant changes in technology. We now do open enrollments through Zoom meetings. We enroll some of our major accounts. One of the things that I like to share with you is that we insure some of the greater major accounts on the island, to include most of the banks in the island, and we did many of the enrollments last year through Zoom. And we now do electronic enrollments where individuals can link, and through our systems, our web portal, they're able to enroll. They get a message back, they get the information that they have been enrolled. So we have been able to change and do a lot of technology improvements to help and improve the access to to being able to sign up for health insurance, and especially during this time for GovGuam.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Yeah, I think you're alluding to kind of a telemedicine, and how has that changed, and is it growing? You mentioned earlier that it's been very difficult to send patients to like the Philippines, which is where traditionally a lot of your patients have gone to. So is telemedicine expanding, and are your services expanding with that?
And this is one of the greater services that we're bringing back to government of Guam this year. We're bringing a 24-hour nurse line, and in addition to that, through United Healthcare, we now have access to telehealth, telehealth by Teladoc. Teladoc is one of the largest provider of telehealth services in continental US. So our members will be able to have access to Teladoc and have access to that. So bringing also to the new generation of people, as Paul alluded earlier, during the rebranding of our campaign. So it's not only giving access to telehealth, but also to the new generation of people that are getting used to digital platforms to be able to use them and get care. So we have changed with the times, and we have made significant changes to include telehealth.
Yeah, I know we're talking primarily earlier about the GovGuam health insurance contract, but as Frank mentioned, Paul, you also insure many businesses, but many businesses were also impacted by this pandemic. In particular, for example, the hotel industry. Has that been difficult in trying to retain business from companies who were so severely impacted by the COVID?
I know the hotel industry has really stepped up, and despite the challenges of no tourists to for their revenue income, they've taken advantage of again, the federal funds that have been able to come in and try to help their employees continue the coverage. So so far it hasn't had the negative impact that you could have expected.
Yeah, Frank, do you go ahead? Sorry.
Go ahead, Ness. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was going to ask you to expound on what Paul just said.
Yeah, and also another program that the federal government provided was, an expanded COBRA program where individuals that may have lost their jobs, the federal government subsidized their payments until the end of this month. We also are looking forward at the possibility that this new infrastructure bill, if it ever goes through, will be able to provide additional subsidies to the individuals that may lose the COBRA benefits as a result of those subsidies ending up at the end of this month. But overall, we've been, I guess, because of the quality of service that we provide in Nestor, we've been blessed that even during the pandemic, we're able to actually sign up new companies over the last 12 months. And we continue to spend not only on the quality of the services, but also in the offerings that we provide to those new companies.
Yeah, you mentioned this infrastructure bill that the Congress is dealing with, and included in that is monies for building medical facilities. Bit of a political question, but the governor has said that she wants to commit $300 million of the American Rescue Plan money to building a new hospital. And she also said that even with the $345 million that Congressman San Nicolas has said might be available in the current budget bill, she also would add that to the $300 million. So we'd only be about $100 million short of what the Corps of Engineers said a new hospital would cost. So is that a good idea, you think, the building of this new hospital and spending these monies for a new hospital? I'll throw it out to both of you.
Well, if I may, first of all, the current hospital needs to be replaced. There's no question about it, and whether you replace it now or continue waiting to the deterioration of the facility more and more is a question that our population needs to answer, but we need to replace it. There are some monies, and I think we will be able to leverage the federal government contribution to GovGuam even farther. So whether today or tomorrow, it needs to happen. And it's difficult to do it during a pandemic time like we have. We were having an incredible amount of tourists coming to the island before the pandemic hit. But whether it is prudent to do it now or tomorrow, I think that's an answer that historians will be able to tell us that better. But I support the replacements of the current hospital. It needs to be replaced. There is no other answer. It needs to be replaced.
Sure. Paul, you want to weigh in on that one?
Yeah, well, Frank is correct. The hospital is in need of replacement. It's in bad shape. But I know there's competing priorities, and I realize that, but the community, of course, is facing uncertainties, for the balance of this year, September, October, November, December, and next year. We just don't probably expect to see anywhere near, well, you've heard this so many times, anywhere near the tourism dollars that we had. We may not see it for several more years. So I just know that the government's got to weigh those two issues very carefully. They need to have a safety net, a fund for the safety net for all the community who are going to continue to be impacted, and weigh that against the need for the new hospital, and which is the more urgent. So we'll see as everybody weighs in on this from the legislature, the governor, where this all goes. But definitely the hospital does need to be. We need a new one.
All right. Got about a minute left. Frank, any parting things you want to say?
Yeah, we want to thank the government of Guam employees and retirees, the support that DOA is providing to this open enrollment, and we welcome and look forward to servicing all of you during the upcoming fiscal year. Thank you very much, GovGuam.
All right. Paul Calvo Jr. is the president and CEO of Calvo's Insurance, and Frank Campillo is the administrator of Calvo SelectCare. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nestor.
Thank you, Nestor. Take care. Stay safe.
You too. I'm Nestor Licanto. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again next week on In Full Zoom.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.